folks. How you doing? Good night. Um, I heard somebody say that. So like good morning instead of at night. You say good night, even though it's not. It's usually an exit or whatever have you. All right. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Um, what's up, Tia? What's up, DJ Five? What's up, Marissa? What's up, Rachel? How y'all doing tonight? Um, we are streaming on a lot of different devices right now. Um, I haven't done this in a while, and I wanted to. Regina, what's up? What's up? What's up? I haven't done this in a while. Um, Wanted to kind of just go up here live and just kind of share some of, I guess, some of my expertise and some of my experiences. I wanted this to be really interactive. Um, so I want, let's say the comments. Where are you hearing from and what platform? So if y'all can tell me what platform you're actually viewing from, that would be great. Um, that way I can know. I'll go back and look at the analytics later, but I wanted to kind of just like open it up with a small little, discuss or whatever. Um, let's see, let's see, Shanita came in from Augusta. Come on, Georgia in the house. Wilson, wide awake. Wilson in the house. Rachel, she's right here locally with me. Team River. Greensboro, Marissa. We got Dallas, Texas, DJ Fife, and Tia Lynch in Charlotte. What's up? What's up? Let's see. We got people coming in from Facebook, YouTube. My Facebook bed. My little bro Josiah is on. He said my Facebook bed. Stupid. All right. I know I kind of put it out there on my socials because I wanted to kind of recreate some of my old graphics. I've done a couple of courses, and most of the time it's kind of behind a paywall. Well, not really paywall, but just to pay for it. But I wanted to kind of just spend a couple of maybe an hour or so. I'm trying not to go that much longer than that because as designers, it can take us a while to actually get through stuff. But for the people who are viewing me for the first time, if you just kind of happened on my post because it actually got a lot of traction, surprisingly. Thank everyone who voted. As you see in the flyer for this event, there was a lot of responses, more than what I thought. To be honest with you. I don't know why. I don't know if people will really be paying attention or following me. I guess that's pseudo humility. It's not pseudo. It's real. It's just you never know who's watching, who's listening, who's paying attention, and so hopefully everybody can gain a little bit of knowledge of what I'm sharing tonight. I don't know what skill level anybody is on. This is not my Photoshop 101 beginners course, so I won't be like incredibly slow in my explanation, but I will be kind of filtering in some of the comments. So if I'm going too fast or you see something that I may have just kind of blew over because honestly I'm going at it because at my own speed because hey, I've been doing it for a while. Let's see, little background on me. I am a graphic designer, web designer, video editor, creative director, all of that. So anything visual, I pretty much can do, except for photography. I haven't figured out photography yet, and I really want to figure it out. Not Elton said, "Let's learn." What's up, bro? How you doing? Nah, you got it. You don't got to learn nothing from me. Yeah, and I want my book too. Shout out to Elton. He just he's releasing a book called, I believe it's called Before 8:45 a.m. I already put my order in. I want my book. So look him up, Elton Benjamin. I believe that's eltonbenjamin.com. That's my homie. Um, so yeah, a little bit about me. I have been doing graphic design since 2004. So I am pushing up on 20 years in the game. Um, Woo me. I don't actually do graphic and web design, quote unquote, professionally, because my professional job, I'm an email developer. Most people don't know that I'm a developer. And I've been doing that since 2010. So 13 years doing that. That's where I get most of my good money from because I like going to a regular job. I also do my graphic and web design as a full-time business as well. So working two full-time businesses that pretty much work concurrently. A lot of the work I do is primarily for small businesses and faith-based organizations. Music artists, that's what I do a lot of stuff for as well. So those are three different areas. If I'm not doing branding for small businesses, if I'm not doing something for faith-based organizations, and a lot of artist work. So that's primarily what you see on my portfolio for the most part. I do some, I do work in the professional realm. So some of my clients, I'm doing a lot of, you know, brand-based projects. And that's pretty much what I do mostly now. So, hey, I'm going to jump right on in. So the three different flyers. So it was actually, I couldn't really narrow down which of the three I want to do. So I'm going to actually touch on all three of them tonight because two of them, we're going to kind of be walking through the design. And the third one is actually using an AI generator called Midjourney. And I wanted to kind of like touch on that as far as like what was my thought process of actually making that work and what I use. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit. So this might be a little bit over an hour. I don't know. It depends on how fast I can kind of get through it. Now this is titled Recreate With Me, or redesign, not recreate, redesign with me. And as you know, with graphic design, it's not going to be exactly like the previous because I'm literally going to be redesigning this like from scratch. So some of those elements I don't even have anymore. So we're going to be kind of like basing the design off of a previous one. It's going to look close. I'm kind of pull inspiration from those other designs, but you kind of get the basic gist on what it was and how I got there. So hopefully that helps. So the three flyers that I'm going to be working on today, I'm actually going to do this again, maybe next week. If y'all enjoy this, I may be doing it again next week. Not a lot of designers do this a lot, where they're pretty much sharing what their process is. I went to school for education, even though it's not really what my profession is. I enjoy teaching people. I enjoy the one-on-one, sharing knowledge. So I'm a big open book as it pertains to that. So hopefully that what you kind of gain from watching me, if you are already a graphic designer or you use Canva or whatever have you, you'll learn some new techniques. And so that is the goal, is just to kind of inspire you. I am by far not the best designer. I'm good, but I'm by far not the best. I probably can name 10 people right now that I look at in high esteem. I'm a person that I will support. I will even share other designers' work, share other designers' projects that they're doing. Hey, if you don't use me, you can definitely use somebody I know. And I like to surround myself with other designers that kind of do stuff just leaps and bounds. I am not capping, not capping, not at all, not capping. Trust me, I know some amazing designers, some of which are in this room right now. Shout out to Rachel Dixon. She is a member of my team at my church. the River Church. She's one of the graphic designers there. Elsa Benjamin, of course, he's also up here. Regina Woodard, she's also up here. Tia, she's also up here. And I'm pretty sure there's probably others that haven't really sounded off, but just some dope people. Justin Foster, my brother, Joseph Anthony. Oh goodness, I'm gonna stop because if I stop, I'm gonna stop now because there's just so many people that I really look up to, and I steal from. Hello. All right, so I'm going to share the different designs we're going to be working on tonight. So we have this one. This was a 7 last sayings of Christ graphic I did. It really took off. People really enjoyed it. People copied it. People used it. So people really enjoyed it. And I want to kind of talk through you guys how I kind of got here. Again, I'm going to be designing, but it's not going to be exact, but you're going to get the basic gist of how I got there. So we're going to be working on that one. We're also going to be working on this one. This is a live recording that my church did back in 2022, last year. This was the recording flyer. This actually went over well as well. We actually got this done as a t-shirt. And I'm going to be talking to you how I went about doing that. Really, honestly, if you're a graphic designer, it's all a clip masking. That's pretty much what it is, but we will be talking about that. And last one, this is what I just posted this week. It was just an inspirational kind of image that I kind of saw in my brain. I said, I got to get it out. There was no purpose. There was no reason. I was just had my computer open and I was like, man, I want to design something. So I try to every so often just design just because. There's no reason. No one paid me for it. I'm not really trying to build my portfolio. I wasn't trying to it wasn't for clicks or anything like that. It was just literally, I just felt like designing. As an artist, I think we all should do that every so often where it's not project based. It's just, hey, let's just try to throw something out there. So we'll be talking about this one. This one, actually, I use Mid-Journey on this. It's an AI tool, and I'll be talking to you guys through what my thought process was that. And I'm also going to share the prompts that I use and all of that. It's actually a whole lot simpler than you think it is. So when people were like choosing this, I was like, I can do this like in 5 minutes. So that's why I had to like kind of add in some more because I was like, this is gonna be real quick if I choose just that one. All right. I'm trying to keep looking at the comments. If I don't get to them, once I get into the weeds, I want to make sure that I am focused in what you guys are needing. And so, and I want to make sure I get through all of the just design work so that I can make sure I'm sharing as much information as possible. I am not using a dual monitor tonight, and so that is going to be one of my monitors, something wrong with it. But so bear with me as I'm kind of going back and forth. So just let everybody know where we're all streaming at. We're streaming on Facebook Live on both my page. I'm streaming live on my YouTube channel. And I thought I was streaming on Instagram, and I should be streaming on Instagram now, I think. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I thought I had already pressed that. Want to make sure that I'm live everywhere before I get started. Let's see. Let's get it started. If that one doesn't work, it's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world. I don't need it. I don't particularly need it to go there. That was just, yeah, I think I'm live. Yep, I'm live. All right. So if you are tuning in now on my Instagram, which is DW Design Pro. I know you are probably only seeing my face, and it might be a little difficult to follow along because the program I use kind of blows everything up, and just you're just seeing this part of me of the screen, and it's going to be a whole lot. So this is just for people to, if you are viewing on Instagram, um, you can kind of follow along as far as like audio wise, but part of the screen is going to be cut off for you, and I do apologize for that. But it is what it is. We are streaming on YouTube and also Facebook. So if you want to catch on either one of those, jump over there. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I am a nerd when it comes to this type of stuff. I say I want to see how many different things I can stream on at one time. If I had a Twitch, I'd be streaming on Twitch right now too, but I don't. And I never go live on my YouTube account. So this is like the first time I've had a video that I'm actually going live, because I think I only have like maybe 83 subscribers on YouTube. So hey, do me a favor, if you're up here, go look up DW Design Pro. That's youtube.com/the @DW Design Pro. Subscribe for me, because I'm going to be doing more stuff and kind of putting some more content out over there. All right. I've done enough talking. It's now 9:24, and I've probably talked longer than I wanted to. So let's get into it. That's where you came from. You did not come here to listen to me talk. Okay. So which one of y'all want to do first? You want to do this one first? Or do you want to do this one first? This one, I might kind of get to this one a whole lot easier. All right. Cool. All right. So we're going to start here. And if you're a designer and you have Photoshop already open and you want to kind of follow along with me, you sure can. I'm not going to be talking about every little small thing where I'm clicking this at the third. You got to have some knowledge, because again, this is not the beginner's course. I am going to be offering a beginner's course. You'll be hearing more. Another beginner's course, and you'll be hearing more about that in the next week or so. But for right now, I'm just going to be like kind of walking through, and I'll talk as we go through, because that's going to be kind of boring if I don't. All right. So so that y'all don't get bored as I'm just talking, I'm going to turn some of this music back up, but not too loud that you can't hear me. All right. Hopefully that's an okay. I don't like that. It sounds weird. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me share my screen, my other screen. All right. Photoshop. We are in our Photoshop. So I really cannot see y'all like that. In fact, I want to put myself down here. Y'all can see the full. All right. Right. So it's going to be really hard for me to actually see all of your comments as I'm going, because again, like I said, I'm not using a dual screen. So like I said, I do apologize for that. So what I'm going to do, I can see some of y'all comments here. All right. So actually, before I start there, let me hear from you guys. What technique are you kind of looking for me to kind of go over? I want to make sure, like I said, I want to make sure that I'm kind of like meeting our needs. I know I'm kind of like walking through and kind of like talking or whatever have you, but I want to kind of hear from you. What is it that you're looking to kind of gain from this? I'd like to know. And as you guys if I can get some typing inside of the chat on that, I'm going to actually log into on my phone so I can see. I can see you guys' comments. Oh, okay. course, it's Safari. Meanwhile, how you have to be Safari? Give me just 1 second. I want to make sure I can see what you guys are saying. All right. All right. Almost ready. Almost ready. Just all right, cool. Now I can see. All right, your techniques and thought process, Tita. Thank you. When choosing AI images, you get lost in timing and temporality. I do get lost, of course. I do. But we'll talk about it when we get there, okay? We will talk about it when all right, cool. All right, I am ready to go. Here we go. All right. So our first file that we're going to work on is the 7 last names. And the thing about, let's go 300. I really don't have to go that large, but we're going to do that today. Okay, so regular box. So when I'm doing Instagram, although there are so many other different sizes with Instagram, I'm still going with the regular 1-to-1 ratio on that. Actually, let me see. I have that. Yeah, I want to bring this up as well. So this is where we're trying to get to something similar to this. Now, one thing I can do pretty well, and that is I can work within the framework of a already present brand. So because I've been working in the professional phase, which I believe is an asset for a lot of designers. If you ever work in a professional space, definitely an asset is learn how to work with the constraints and the confines of an already present brand. So if someone hands something over to you, you be able to kind of like take what they've given and then, of course, add your own spin to it, but also be able to design within that. So that's one thing I'm helping with one of my mentees, Rachel. Is one thing I started with her on my church is I'll do the basic design, and then we have to version it out because for every event, which I believe is about 5 or 6 different versions that we have to create. And because she also works in the professional environment, she kind of understands what that world is. So for a lot of designers, they don't really know how to really want to put their own spin. A lot of times, I'm working in professional environments. You can have all you want to, but if there's already a present brand, you stick within that. So that's the approach I'm going to be taking with recreating these. It's already out there, but I'm going to be taking some elements. Again, I don't have all these elements anymore. I actually spent time looking, and I've switched over computers, actually twice since I've done this. Even though it's been a year, I switched it twice since then. I don't even have this in the file anymore. So this is actually good teaching for me as well. I tried recreating it earlier today. Okay, let me turn this off. Might be distracting. I tried recreating it earlier today, and It didn't go so well. Well, no, it went okay. It went okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So the very first thing that I did, so I was just when I was thinking about this flyer, I knew that all of the graphics that we did that year were going to be centered around stained glass windows because our theme for that year was When Sunday Comes, and that was when I'm thinking about church. I think about old church. I think of stained glass windows. So everything has that type of motif um, for that year. And so there was always some type of, if it wasn't this type of texture or whatever have you. So when I think of stained glass windows, um, I think of when sun comes in from the outside in and it creates this like refraction of light, and it's like a warm, especially when, like I said, the sun is like these warm colors and this brightness that comes through. So that was the idea behind how I wanted to actually attach this. Is that theme was When Sunday Comes. I said, okay, stained glass windows. What is my favorite thing about stained glass windows? Is when the sun shines through it, whatever have you. So that's when I started looking up, and we're going to actually do that now. I looked up stained glass windows. Now I'm a Google person. Um, Fight your mama, not me. Yes, I do have other. I do have an Adobe stock account, and I do have all of the good things. But again, fight your mama, not me, because we're using it. Okay. As long as you manipulate it and you're not using the exact same image and you make it your own work of art, you will not get sued. Or I'm hoping. Elton probably could tell you a little bit different, but hey, I ain't got sued yet. And we, like I said, we're working on 20 years. So I'm just kind of like going through, looking up, and so when I see this right here, so I was like, okay, this is what I'm trying to go for. This is that all of this. This is the style in which I'm trying to um, go for. And so I like that. And I'm looking at some other stuff. And I'm just kind of looking for like inspiration. And so I'm going to do the show more. It kind of gives me some more related imagery or whatever have you. So you kind of start to see what I'm kind of going for. And let's see, because what I'm working with is not a whole lot of a very large area, I can kind of just use this. You can't see my screen. Oh, sorry, my bad. Thank you. Let me go back. StreamYard. Bam. All right. Now you can see. Thank you. All right. So let me go back. So I typed in stained glass windows, and originally what I saw was just a whole bunch of stained glass windows, right? So I kind of like that. I'm looking for something that shines through. I want something that shines through. Um, and so happened on this one. Really like that. And I'm looking at the related content. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the direction I want to. Like I said, fight your mama, don't fight me. Okay. So now everybody should be able to see now. Cool. All right. Is it going full screen? Okay. Yeah, y'all good. Y'all good. All right. So I really like so I'm just gonna kind of pick out just a couple of stained glass areas I may can use. Let's I like that warm red and gold and browns. So I'm gonna be kind of open up a couple of different options that I can use. I have that, have that. And I'm just kind of just going through and seeing, because I do know what I'm going to. So I really enjoy, like, this is might be the image I used. It might be. Yep, I think that might be it. Okay. So when I am building a flyer, especially if I know it's going to be textured, I'm going to be bringing in a lot of different layers, a lot of layers to kind of create the vibe, because I don't like just a static background sometimes, especially with this type of thing. I really wanted to convey that warmness, and so I know I'm gonna need a whole lot of texture. And let's see, I like this image, but I want to see if I can find a larger one. And a good way of finding that, I don't know if y'all know that, if you go to google.com/photos, not photos, sorry. I think it's images. There we go. If you go there, any image that you I learned this from what was that? Catfish. This is how I learned how to do this. All right. That TV show Catfish. That's the image, but it's a lower quality image. I'm gonna see if there's a free one out there of this larger one. So I'm gonna drag and drop this inside. Darn it. Drag and drop this inside of there, and it's going to scour the internet looking for that image or images that are similar to it. And I'm going to see if I can find me a larger version of that image. There we go. That's a little bit larger. And he used to be that you could see the sizes as well. But they've updated theirs. Let's see. Anybody else done this type of done that before? Searching for an image you were looking for. There we go. There we go. The larger the better. The larger the image, the better, because I always can shrink down, but trying to stretch that image out, that may not be the the best look. Okay, so I found that image. So what do we have to work with? So I have that main image there. Have this one, and this one. Yeah. So that might be enough. And I know I also want to kind of bring in some texture. Let's see. Let's do like a grunge background. So I may overlay that with some of the stuff that I'm doing. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I know it's red and white, but I'm probably not going to use all of it anyway. Got to pay for that one. Who's not paying? This guy. This guy is not paying for anything. Well, no, that's not true. If it's something very specific, I'm definitely going to pay for it. Especially if the client wants something that's very specific. But if I'm just kind of doing it and I'm not making any money off of it, and I'm trying to kind of get through it relatively quickly, trust me, you get what you get. All right, we'll just take that because I might use that. Might not. I don't know. All right, so I have my kind of starter imagery here. All right, so the very first thing I'm going to do, I like this this color thing, even though it's like very low quality. I mean, a smaller image, not low quality, just smaller image. It's not really going to kind of fit inside of completely, but that's not what I want. So what I'm trying to do, so one thing that I do, and I guess a lot of other designers might do, when I'm first starting like a background, I'm just going to pick any image, and I need something to like work off of for as far as like color scheme wise. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually add a Gaussian blur to it and just kind of like blow it out, because really all I want is kind of like I don't even want you to be able to tell what it is. And doing this, I don't even care how big or how small it is, because I'm not going to do it but blur it out anyway, just to kind of give me just some options from just a texture perspective, kind of bringing all the colors that I want. Just kind of just gives me a nice little kind of see that it's already a kind of already more of a dynamic background, nice little warm background. So this is kind of where I'm starting off with. So I'm gonna be a good steward today and um layer my label my layers. Okay, so I'm starting there. Again, this is kind of where this is our starting ground here. Next thing I'm gonna do, let me see. Let me bring that in. That one's already kind of already blurry as well. Let me take this. Hopefully everybody's still here. All right. Just a little bit faint. I'm gonna work now. One thing you are going to see with me a lot is my blend modes. I love blend modes when I'm creating my backgrounds, and I just kind of just filter through a couple of them. Bam, kind of like that, but it's a little bit too harsh. I'm not getting my background. Again, I'm just kind of building on top of stuff just to kind of create some dimension again. Um, so I have that. Let's go over into our stained glass window. All right. I'm going to go ahead and create this into a smart object, because I don't want this to be destructive at all, because I don't know if I'm going to have to work with this or not. And again, as designers that you're kind of listening to me, I'm pretty sure everybody has their own way of doing stuff. This is kind of how I attack when I'm kind of first designing. Again, you're watching this to see my process. I know I'm not going to use all of this image, but I do want that stained glass window. I'm going to go ahead and make that into I'm going to create a little mask. I'm going to take some of this out because I still have that wonderful background, and I'm making it non-destructive because I'm kind of making some decisions now, but I might go back and change my mind later. So again, all I'm doing right now is just kind of creating the basic idea of what I want to do. Okay. Still want you to show up though. All right. So again, we're just we're basing. So you like working on the background first before you go into the layout. Not all the time. For this particular one, I knew what I was trying to like kind of convey from an image perspective. Like I told you, stained glass, light coming through, creating these rays and diffracting of lights. So I'm kind of starting there first. And that was, again, when I was designing this particular flyer, that's kind of where I started. So this is kind of where I was like, okay, this is nice so far. So I'm going to stop there and start bringing in some text. So I knew originally I just wanted a big 7, but I didn't know what font or whatever have you. So you just kind of like cycle through a whole bunch of fonts until you kind of, I knew, like I said, I knew I wanted a big 7 for the 7 last sayings. I wanted that to be your main focal point. But again, a lot of my flyers, I do kind of, I lean towards more of a block font. But this one I wanted to, again, this was like Sunday morning. So for me, when I remember like Sunday morning, getting like the bulletins, they always use Times New Roman. That was their like pretty font. And so I was like, I like Times New Roman, but I wanted something more of a serif font. So Times New Roman is a serif font. So those fonts that are kind of like skinnier, that more like a typewriter. Those are serif fonts. And then you have your sans fonts, sans serif, which is kind of like what you see here, are blockier, thicker letters. And so I didn't want that. And so I've been playing around with this Adobe font called Lust. And once I landed on that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's perfect. And so, unless, like I said, that's an Adobe font. And if you have an Adobe account, you have at your disposal a list of different fonts that you can choose from and activate directly. As long as you have your Creative Cloud login, it'll automatically add the fonts, whatever that you have activated inside your account. So this is, like I said, it's called Lust, Lust. Okay. All right. So we have our number 7 here. And now I'm just going to kind of play around with my blend modes. So I'm just going to, because there's this color behind there, I can use this overlay. Let's choose this overlay. And because we have that color, let me actually add a color to that. Let me add this yellow because I want to have some more options as far as what I can work with. It looks like overlay is going to be it. Okay, so I have my overlay. I'm going to duplicate that again. Just play around with the colors there. All right. Okay. Nah, I don't know what I'll do. All right, this yellow is a little bit is yellowing too much for me. So what I'm going to do is move some of that background up to the top, so my yellow isn't just yellowing. So this is me kind of like playing around. And yes, I know that red is covering, but I'm not going to use all of this. I'm just going to, because I really like that texture in that background. So I'm trying to give my number 7 a little bit more dimension. Where are we at the time? Yeah, I'm going to. All right. There we go. And when I'm designing, I take the Bob Ross mantra, happy little accidents. As you're kind of just playing around with it, you're going to find a little happy little accident. All right. All right. So I basically have that 7, and I'm going to duplicate that. Turn it back to a white. I want to bring this down some. Bam. So you kind of see it starting to come together. So we have that basic look there. I'm gonna go back over to my photos here. I'm gonna actually bring in some more of these stained glass windows. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just literally just kind of like playing around with some of my layers. All right, let me play around with some of these. All right, I like that darkened. I'm gonna take this, move that. And again, I like to, when I'm designing, sometimes it doesn't really make sense, but I want the eye, like there's no rhyme or reason of why I'm doing this. I just want the eye to have something else to look at. So when you're like going back, like, oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. like this there's no reason for me to do that. I like it. And so you just kind of play around until you kind of find something that you like. All right, here we go. All right, so basically that's basically what we have here. Because that white, I want a little bit, so it's not as yellow on it. I'm gonna add a little bit of white here. And then I'm going to create a clipping mask. Make this to a smart object. Awesome. Back to overlay. Bam, bam. All right. All right. Just trying to lighten that up just a tad. Not even enough for anybody to really notice. I know I'm going to notice. Just trying to lighten it up just a little bit. All right. There we go. All right. So next, we have our last sayings of Christ. Now, this is just typography, basically. So I'm the brief. The only thing I got from the brief was this. I need you to make a last 7 sayings of Christ. Here's the date. Go. So that's all. That was all I got from the brief. Nothing more. Just that. So I am a person that I am only going to choose 2, maybe 3 fonts per flyer. I'm not doing a whole bunch of extra. Let me make sure y'all can see. Okay. I'm not doing a whole bunch of extra with my fonts. I am literally going to do 2, maybe 3. And the third one is going to be like an accent font. So because I'm already using Lust, I'm going to continue with my Lust. Oh, that didn't come out right. But okay. So we got last. Because we've done all this texture, we actually can use white font on top of all this texture and it'll still show up because there's no really white in the background. Everything has a tint to it. So we got last 7. Last. Working on that kerning a little bit. Kerning is the space between each individual layer. So from the I to that P, that little space there, bringing that in or out is either increasing or decreasing the kerning. Same. So I am not telling. I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time telling you the difference of what I'm doing as far as font wise, because hopefully everybody here has some design experience. So we have 7 last sayings. We started there, and it's going to read because we already kind of see this 7. Blah blah blah. You're still going to be able to read it, and that's another thing when you're kind of laying out your flyers. You want to make sure that it reads and still makes sense, and you're not just putting just stuff to be putting stuff. Y'all ain't going nowhere. Come on, 17. Y'all holding strong. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so we got last sayings, right? All right. Now that of Christ, I could have went and continued, but I was like, I want to bring in accent. Font is going to be a little script. I don't have that same script, but this one is mighty close. Is everybody following so far? Of Christ. And for me, I like when I'm doing typography, I like to find the little spots where I can kind of lay stuff in between stuff. So as you see, like this last and the sayings, the dot over the I I am a person that I like stuff to kind of line. That's going to be the difference between your graphics and everybody else's, is that symmetry. Trying to find where it's like it makes sense. Like we started with a 7 and we're working our way down, and it kind of it's well, actually here, it's making sense. Where are we at? Over here? There we go. It's making sense all the way down. Okay, it's making sense. So of Christ. All right. And actually the of Christ was actually my accent. So the two fonts I'm actually going to be using is Lust and a bolded font. Let's see. Today's date is what? 07/06. Bolded font I'm going to be using. I use a font called Akira Expanded, which is, and I'm pretty sure you've probably seen some version of this type of block font because it got some big traction over the past 2 years. It seemed like everybody and their grandma was using it. I know Canva has its own version of it. I'm pretty sure you probably, as a designer, have your own version of it, but mine I use is called Akira Expanded. I don't know what yours is. If you do have a similar font in the chat, go ahead and put that in whatever name that you use of this type of style. I know you've seen it before because I use it a lot. So we have so far. Now we have the date. All right, this of Christ is a little big for me. I try to keep the main thing. And I was trying to do that little thing. I'm gonna actually put that F in between the G, bring that down. All right. I got Akira Expanded. All right, so we got that. So for a while, I was every date on every flyer. I would do like an outline. I can remember this time because I was doing it on everything. As a designer, I'm pretty sure you all can attest. Once I got my favorite font, or once I have my favorite color, or once I have my little favorite style that I like, it's going on everything. So the way that I do the outline, I completely take away the fill, and then I add a stroke. I add a outside stroke. I'm only gonna go 2. Bam. All right. And if I feel like I can't see it, I'll change that color to like a dark color, and I'll go down to maybe 5-10%. That way it still looks like an outline, but you can start to kind of see behind it as well. And even sometimes I'll just pick a color that's kind of similar to the background. You might hear my brother coming in. He's staying with me for the summer. So, okay. 07/06. That is a date that we're going with today, and it's going to be also at 12 p.m. Let's do 12 p.m. We're gonna. And as you've seen so far, I am not using any texture in my fonts. Again, because I already have such a busy textured background. Nah, I'm not trying to make it any more busy than I've already made it. PM there, bam, and let's throw in our date. Ooh, that address is changing, people. We're moving. Our church is moving in August. Let's bring her in some. That kerning is a little tight. So the space in between, if just for people who don't know, the space in between each letter is called kerning. The space between in between one line to the next is called leading. So, and you may know about other terms, but professionally, that's what we use: kerning and leading. So, Rachel, you may hear. How did you select free transform? Oh, I use free transform a lot when I am, because I want to keep the same. So if I've already added certain attributes to a font, instead of me increasing the font size, I made the kerning and leading may adjust because of it. And if that be the case, using free transform keeps the kerning and leading um, where I want it. Similar, regardless of if I make it big or small. So that's why that is. And that same font size, I should try my best to kind of be a little consistent. If I'm going to use a small font, all the small fonts are going to be that size, because I like a uniformity when I'm designing. So this one was the, oh, I didn't mean to bring that in. Okay. Let's see. This is the website, the riverdurham.com. I'm going to increase that kerning by a lot, because I like, you'll see me do this a lot on a lot of my flyers. This whole spaced out thing, I like the way that looks. So we have that there. So the only other thing that's left is this little faint last sayings. There's no rhyme or reason. I was just like, when I was looking at when I was building, I said it needs something else, and so I'm literally just going to take this last sayings here, duplicate that. Let me link these as well. I'm about to take this. How did I have it? Okay. Turn it over to the right. Take this. I use that free transform tool a lot. Again, there is no rhyme or reason of why I chose to do this. I liked it. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna bring this down. Right above here, and let's back to handy dandy. There we go. Let's do a soft light. All right. I have that there. And last but not least is this little typography here at the top. Duplicate that. All right. And I already kind of had this this font treatment, this typography treatment, because I carried this stuff in the corner on every flyer. That was pretty much kind of like the logo for the week. It kind of that I use for the entirety. We got the River Church. We got. I'm literally just duplicating. I'm terrible with labeling my layers. I'm so sorry, but we're kind of running through this because time is getting away from me. So we got holy, we got week. Now you will see that I'm a stickler about lining up. I like for there to be a through line, and that's the professional in me, is making sure that everything lines up. Again, that there's a definite edge to what I'm doing, and I try my best to make sure that I'm pretty consistent there. And I think I just kind of extended this out just a tad more, because I'm going to put that 2022 inside there. Again, I look for areas that I can actually put 23. I look for ways that I can kind of like just put stuff in and tuck it in extra spaces to kind of add all that up. So that's basically the thought process behind that. The only thing I did not bring in was this little grunge thing. Let's see. I might, over the entirety of this, bring that in, and just to kind of bring in just some other texture. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I know you're like, oh no, you mess it up. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. We're going to take that down, take her down, take her down, take her down, take her down. It'll be just the faintest texture in the background. I'm gonna delete some of it out. I don't need all of it because I still want stuff to be red, but just the faintest idea of some extra texture in there. All right. You may not even see it. You may not even notice that it's even there. But again, it's bringing in some dimension that you didn't have before. And that last thing is bothering me because it's touching my Holy Week. All right. I'm going to actually bring her down just a little bit. I want all of it to be seen but not touched. All right. And there we go, people. We've recreated the 7 last sayings. Now, one thing, because that white may or may not kind of come through like I want to, I wanted to kind of darken that up a little bit more. Another thing I'll do sometimes, I'll just bring in a little all black moment here just to tone everything down just a smidgen, so it's not all just so bright. Still want some bright areas, but just kind of toning it down just a smidgen. So it went from this to this, not a whole big difference, but just kind of tones it down. All right, you guys saw me recreate this 7 last things. Again, like I said, it's not going to be exact because I don't have these exact elements anymore. But that's the basic gist of the 7 last things. So now you can actually see that, yeah, I did design it. Okay, so there's that one. Hopefully y'all saw some things that you have not seen before. I'm pretty sure as a designer, you probably use the exact same like techniques and steps, but when I'm building out a flyer and whatever have you, that's kind of my thought process of just how I'm going about doing stuff. Okay, on to the next. All right, hopefully everybody like that. We're still holding it 16, 17 viewers all together on all platforms. Cool. Y'all ain't gone nowhere yet. All right. 1 second. Okay. Next. Was there anything before I go to the next thing? Was there anything or technique that I did here that you need me to explain or go back over by chance? 1 second. All right. Is there anything that you guys need me to explain, or anything that I might have just kind of like flew through? Because I'm sure I did fly, because again, I'm just kind of just designing or whatever have you. Before I go on to the next one, are we good? Give me some okays in the chat if we're good to go. If not, all right. Nice. Let's see. Let me highlight some of y'all comments because I want to make sure they're in. Let's see. She says, so you like, yes, I did answer that. I answered that one here. I love that font. I do too, but you got to use it sparingly. Sparingly. Kira expanded. Yes, it's free on thefont.com for those who may not have seen that. That was one of the comments from Facebook. I answered that. Let's see. Thank you. Nice. No, thanks for explaining why you use transfer versus increasing font size. Yep, we are good to go. Okay, DJ Fife, one of the baddest DJs out. He just happened to find me one day. I have a logo for you. We need to talk. I have a logo that I designed maybe 2 years ago, and I never talked to you about it. Hit me up. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. All right. And I tell you, my width and height changes every single time. As long as it's a box, I don't care. As long as it's a box, usually it's just 600 by 600. Some people they do 1200 by 1200 because they want to make sure once it's blown up. But for these particular purposes, I'm using 650 just because. Actually, yeah, I want to do 650 and I want to make my resolution 300. I don't know. I'm just picking numbers. Don't do as I do. Do how you do. Okay. All right. Turn off my air so it wouldn't be. Now I'm getting warm. All right. So now we have the live recording. All right. I think I have tried to prepare for this one because you kind of need to. You gotta kind of need to prepare. So we have this live recording flyer, and I went ahead and so let's talk about this. So originally we had a version of this live recording, and no this was the original one. Sorry, this was the original one, and I really could not come up with a good enough concept that I really liked for the live recording, and then I was just kind of playing with this treatment here of just live recording in just the letters. As you can see, like I said, I was using Akira a lot. I think that's Akira. That might be Montserrat. I'm not sure, or it may be Gotham. I don't remember. It's been a year, people. It's one to three of those. It's either Gotham, Akira, or Montserrat. I can't remember. And when I was kind of playing with it, I know we had a whole lot of photos, and I was like, you know what? I wonder how I can like incorporate the photos that we are taking already at the church, but action shots. And I was literally just kind of going back and forth. This design was one of those happy accidents. I was not going. I didn't go into it already knowing exactly what I wanted to design. I kind of just happened on it, and I'm glad I did because there was a lot of good response. And actually, at my church, we turned it into a T-shirt that they wear. People still wear it to this day, and I'm like, that live recording was a year ago, and people are still wearing the shirt. But I guess they like it, so we had it in both white and black. Some people wore it to the actual recording because it ended up being an all white affair for the recording. Now, One thing that I guess I do need to say is that I no longer have that picture of Bishop, and I don't of my pastor, and I don't even know where um, that photo is, but I'm going to spend most of my time on that that typography there because I think that's pretty much what you guys are probably wanting anyway. Um, there is another picture that I think I can get some of the same um, type of effect, and I'm going to use that. Give me a second because I need to airdrop this to myself. Um, as I'm trying to recreate this flyer for you guys, I'm going to kind of use the same techniques that I used. Let's see, share. We use the same techniques, and hopefully that may clear up some things for you guys. This flyer is actually not that hard to do. It's just time consuming. It's extremely time consuming because every single person, you have to cut them out, you have to lay them out, you have to put them in the right spot that it still made sense. So it's not that it was difficult, it was just time consuming. And I probably spent way too much time on this. Again, no one asked for this. No one said, please do this. Do it this way. So, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So, let you guys know what I have. So, what I have so far, I went ahead. So, this is a picture of my bishop I'm actually going to use in its place because he has that red shirt, and I want to kind of play around with that a little bit. Um, see, it's live recording. So what I have here I went ahead and just kind of downloaded. Actually, I have that one. I have that one. I just don't have the actual one that I use, but it's fine. A couple of pictures that the photography team from my church has taken. I just kind of picked some action shots of a couple of different people, and this is what we're going to be using. So I'm going to use the exact same technique that I use on every single one of them. So, so to start off with, all right. So looking at this, it's just a regular black background. So we're going to start there. Get my little fill. Black. And so out of that, going to turn it on. So let me see. Nope, it was not Kira. Let's see if it was Montserrat. That looks about right. You always can tell with Montserrat with their R's and their C's. Yeah, that looks all right. Let's look at Gotham. See if it was Gotham. I don't have this. I don't have this. That looks a little bit. That looks a whole lot. Nope, that's C. Gets it every time. Yeah, maybe it was Montserrat. No, wasn't that either. I don't know what that was. But hey, we're gonna. It's neither because that C gives away every single time. But we'll go with Montserrat. Okay. So some of the pushback I got with this design is that people were like, I can't read it. I'm like, it says live recording. He's like, well, the letters are, it just makes it whole. I was like, well, it's a design decision. And I had to go to bat for that for myself, because I was like, this is what we're doing. Even because sometimes you just got to make those design decisions, and you got to like stick to your guns. Just stick to your guns. All right. So now what I'm going to do is work on some of this kerning, because I want this to be tight. Tight, 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 tight. I want these letters to be tight. So yeah, little bit by little. For the most part, Montserrat does a good job of the kerning, but there are some letters that kind of have way too much, but I really want this to be tight. So we have live recording, right? All right, and I'm gonna make this flush to the edge as well. Because when I was doing this, I was like, I want to feel the entire space as much as possible. So again, my free transform tool, because now that I've worked out all that kerning, if I was to increase the font size, I might lose I might lose some of that. I don't want to lose any of it. Relatively keeps the same. But that's just me. All right. So we have live recording. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Now the fun part. Okay. All right. So let's start easy. All right. Got my boy Desi here. So all I'll have to do now is I'm going to use the select subject tool. It's part of the new Photoshop that will pretty much select this subject for you. As long as that background is not the easiest, it's not the best crop, but I would spend more time cleaning up the edges and all of that. But for this purposes, we don't really need that. And so I'm going to go. I'm going to desaturate this. Oh, sorry. I gotta make sure I select him and not. I do that all the time. All right. Let's desaturate him. All right. And I'm gonna play with those levels, because I really want him to pop, but I don't want to lose that white contrast. All right. So we got Desi. That's his name, sorry. Desi, right? So as you can tell here, I wasn't using all of the body of everybody. I'm kind of just using shots that really just made sense for what I was trying to do. And so how I achieve that effect, it's already a smart object, so that's a good thing. I'm going to free transform tool. Y'all can tell I use some of the same tools all the time, right? Okay. I'm gonna make him. I want just kind of seeing. I like, yeah, put him kind of right there. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate him. And on the bottom layer, I am going to create a clipping mask. So if I was to turn that top layer off, he's kind of already in there, but he's in the letters himself, right? And so what I'm going to do on that top layer, I'm just going to erase the areas I don't want him showing. Because whatever's below it, as long as I don't erase too far, so what you're seeing now is because what I did originally was that I actually had every individual layer, every letter as its individual. So I had an individual letter for everything. So what you're seeing down there is actually this layer here still showing through. So I'm just going to delete him. Bam. So we got our first person. All right. Who we want to go next? All right. So we got Shaska. All right. I'm going to do the exact same thing to her. Going to desaturate her. I'm going to select subject. That's pretty good. All right. Do the exact same thing I did with her. And so, as you see there, if I decided to do that, she was part of her body will be kind of like hanging off to the side. So that means can't do that. I need to adjust both her layers. Let's see. So that's why I said this was more painstakingly. So this is what I'm going to do with her. I'll make sure that she's really inside there. And I want that mic, her holding the mic, to just be the area that I want to display. I want to make sure that waist is not cut off. I can cut off the rest of this. All right, cool. I'm go back here, clip that, bam. Let's delete her out of everything else. I'm actually going to delete that. That's all I want. All I want out of this is just her holding the mic. I'm going to go down here, delete her out of the rest of this. Bam. All right. So we got another person. So I'm just going to do a couple of more of these because, like I said, this is very time consuming. And I want you guys just to get the basic idea of my thought process of how I actually built this. But it is very time consuming. All right. This subject, mask. Ooh, that's a terrible mask. We're not spending a whole lot of time on the mask right now. Just a technique. Bam. Saturation. Bam. It's a little too dark for me. She is not that dark. She's actually brown to white skin. Let's brighten her up some. All right, like that. Duplicate her. And I'm doing the exact same techniques over and over again. Cut her out. Cutting her out, cutting her out, cutting her out, cutting out all this extra that it didn't take. Bam. All right. Cut them out. Bam, 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 bam. Out, 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 out. Cut, 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 cut. Cut. I actually went too high there. So I'm gonna go back to her. I'm gonna paint back in here on that top layer. Oh, come on. All right. All right. Computer said stop for a second. There we go. All right. Playing games with me. Whew. I messed this one all the way up. Let's start this again. That's why we use masks, because we don't want to be destructive. And we always can start again when we mess up. There we go. Start by deleting them out of the situation. Okay. I know where I messed up. I did not create a clipping mask. And back here under the erase tool. Now I use the erase tool a lot when I'm kind of clipping or erasing people out of a mask. It's quick and easy for me. I'm pretty sure there's other ways of doing it. This is just the way that I do it. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably doing it the harder way, but it is what it is. There we go. That's what I wanted. Bam. And of course, that mask is terrible, but I'm not spending a whole lot of time cleaning up that mask. But y'all get the idea. So I'm gonna do one more, and then I want to move over to Bishop's picture. So y'all get the basic idea. Oh, his picture was a actual original. Okay, y'all still here? Y'all not bored, are you? This is just design, so it's not the most entertaining, but I hope you guys are learning something as I'm going through this with you. But it's pretty much the basic same steps over and over again. So when I'm teaching people like for the first time, and one of the statements that I make is that I can't teach you. I can teach you the techniques, but I can't teach you my eye. So you may not have ever seen doing something like this, but I kind of saw it before I saw it. And I don't always work like that. Sometimes it's like I am not the person. I'm not the visionary person that's going to kind of see it before I see it, and um, I get this big revelation. Sometimes that happens, but most times it does not. Um, I am the guy that I'm the guy that I'll figure my way through it. I'll find my way through it some way, somehow. Um, I will undo this. Release that. I'm gonna find my way through it, and um, as a result, sometimes that works out for me. Sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is. But I can always show you the techniques. But um, you as a designer, you're gonna have to just spend some time until it comes to a point where you kind of like what you like, and you start developing your own taste level. Okay. All right. Lastly, like I said, I'm going to bring in a bishop on that one, and it's pretty much the exact same type of effects that I'm going to do. Let's see, he is going to cut him out of this. Ooh, that's a terrible. That's terrible crop. But y'all get the basic idea. You're not getting perfect right now. You're getting basic idea. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to duplicate him in the color on this bottom layer. I'm going to desaturate this bottom layer. And then I'm going to delete all the areas that are color that I do not want shown. So everything else is going to be black and white. Except for his sweater. I want everything else black and white except for the sweater. And if I wanted to make the patches a color, I would spend more time of going in there. But for the sake of this tutorial, I just want the red, which is similar. What I did with here is that I made him black and white, and I just the I mapped out, or I cropped out just the color of his jacket, but I kept everything else black and white because I wanted the whole flyer to kind of be black and white, and to only bring in the color where a couple of times. So I had it here. I have the River Church and Good Friday down there. That's basically how I built out that flyer. I'm not going to recreate the whole thing because y'all saw how long it took me just to do those four. But it's very time consuming. But to get the look that I want, that's basically how I went about doing that. Any questions? Any questions to anyone? This was not an easy one to do. That's why I was like, "Ooh, I got to pick one or the other because this ain't easy." All right. Hopefully y'all got something from that. All right. We are way past where I wanted to be, but we got 15 more minutes left, and I can actually do this last one in those 15 minutes. We're going to hop on over to Midjourney. About 650, about 650. All right. All right. Yeah, shortcuts. Me and shortcuts are not always the friends. Okay, so because I've been doing it for so long, I am a creature of habit. So when I first learned how to do graphic design, I'm a self-taught designer, so I pretty much taught myself how to do everything. I taught myself how to do everything. So it's like the methods in which I learned, it's hard to unlearn them. So I know what the shortcuts are, but I don't use them because I'm so used to just going to doing them. And I know it will cut down time, but for my brain, I just turned 43 and creature of habit, so it's really hard for me to um to like switch that part of my brain off. So I do apologize for that. All right. So the last one that we're going to do, um, and this actually got a whole lot of votes today, um, is the sky's the limit. This one's going to probably take the less amount of time. So, of course, AI is everywhere right now. And from a graphic designer perspective, embrace it because it's not going away. It's not going to replace us because even though I use part of this from Mid Journey, the typography and just the placement of everything, that's still all me as a designer. So you can learn to use it as a tool to kind of give you some ideas that you may not have thought about before. But the learning curve with Mid Journey and others like it is really your prompts and how you actually feed it into the platform. So I do have a monthly plan because I don't like to wait that long for my for the for it to generate what I'm asking for. So there is a free version. You get a couple of hours when you first start off with Mid Journey, but after you go through that, you do have to go ahead bite the bullet. But I'm pretty sure there's so many other options out there outside of Mid Journey. This is just the first one I started using, so this is the one I'm going to be using today. So I'm already logged into my Mid Journey, and so once you, so I'm not going to go through how to use Mid Journey in this, not 100%. Once you sign up, whatever have you, you have to find a free room. Most of the time, I'm using Newbies 125. It just depends on what version. There's a couple of different versions and releases that you can actually call to. I am not that well versed in it. I've done a couple of kind of searches, and honestly, you can have fun in there as well. You just kind of just generating stuff that you yourself probably will never use, but it is what it is. Okay, so the first prompt that you have to start off with is use /imagine : the word prompt. Once you've used it a couple of times, it will. Once you just start typing imagine, you'll see it just kind of pop up. So what was I thinking when I said, okay, I want to design this? I think it was around Juneteenth is when I came up with the idea, and the idea was just me as a black male. I was thinking about Lion King and my version of what that moment when Mufasa and Simba are looking out, and Mufasa says something to affect everything that you look at. You have dominion over it, and that was my idea. I was like, okay, how can I do a modern version of that, of a physical human representation of Simba looking over the world, and that was my idea. Okay, so yeah, I'm not trying to be deep or convoluted or anything like that, but that was the idea of where that came from. So this is what we're trying to. We're gonna make a version of this. We're not gonna make this exact version, but we're gonna make a version of this. And so what I said inside of that, I said, I said black baby boy reaching out towards the edge of the city. Now, because I've used Midjourney a lot, I know edge of the city will give me a cityscape on the backside or whatever I'm looking at. So that's one. Once as you're using Midjourney, you'll see other people's prompts and um, other people's prompts of how they're calling into their prompts, and so you start picking up some of their terms and their terminology. I'm not really looking for a whole bunch of clarity. I probably will say comma. Um, let's say 4K. And you also can kind of call into sizing and all of that. You also can call. Oh, sorry, my bad. Y'all can't see. Sorry. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. All right. Now y'all can see. So imagine prompt. Why I ain't say nothing? Imagine prompt. All right, and then we got black boy reaching out towards the edge of the city. I've also put 4K in here. I'm just gonna run this prompt. I'm gonna let it do what it do. See what it. I have some other examples of what I've already done. Um, I think it saves your last 10 or 15 prompts, whatever have you. And again, I have a little more priority because I pay for it. So the it generating won't take as long for me as it would take if you were using the free version. So you start seeing it come together. It's doing this AI thing. You just gotta wait. So most of the work that you saw wasn't me. It was Midjourney. All right. We're at 93%. 93. I love that edge of the city because once I found that one, I was like, oh boy. Okay, so these are what is generated. Let's see. These are the 4 examples it's given me. So probably the one that's most closest is this number 4 down here. So I'm going to go back over into Midjourney. I'm going to pick out version 4. U4. That's if I just wanted this, but I want to get some variations of just this number 4. So I'm going to click on V4. Let it do a thing. Just making some variations for me. All right. It's working its magic. Cause I could have just used that one. And honestly, when I'm putting in my prompts, sometimes the prompts can get very, very long. As you can see, some of these prompts are very, very detailed. They can get very long when people are looking for specifics. Like this is a candid shot of a crowd marketplace in Mexico City, capturing the colors, textures, and atmosphere of the place with the shadow depth of field, focusing on a street vendor. And that's what it prompted out. Same thing. So it can get very, very detailed. And if you do have a Midjourney account, I would say kind of look at some of the other prompts to kind of get an idea of what you're trying to do. So we have this one. I really no that was the one. My variations. Okay, so these are all of my variations that it came up with. Let's see. So let's go. That number 4 is still the one I like. I like that right hand. I like the lighting on the head here. I'm gonna stick with that number 4, but I really like that one. I'm gonna go back to the original one. Go back to the original 4. All right. I'm gonna say U4. So that's going to give me just that one by itself. I'm going to open this in browser. Bam, copy, bam, copy and paste this in. So you, like I said, it's not going to be exact, but it's going to be close to. Need some real estate at the top of this in order to put some words or whatever have you. Bam. Play around with some of the lighting levels. Don't want to lose all of the definition of his clothes. I messed that up. Press cancel when I wasn't supposed to. Let's try some curves. Okay. I know there are some AI tools that have rolled out with Photoshop Beta that will like do some amazing things. So I would suggest that you try that as well. I just want a little vignette type of feel here. All right. And then it's all about just the now it's just about the typography of it all. So the first not yet. So I'm gonna take this image, him, because I want, if you see in this graphic where you see that the sky is behind him or whatever have you. So I want to isolate him. So I'm doing the exact same thing I did before. I'm going to duplicate his layer. Select subject. Make a mask of that. That way he's cut out of it. So if I was to just show, he is cut out, but because he's directly on top, you can't really tell. So that means if I was to put the word skies, skies. I'm going to scoop this in between those layers. Let me turn this off right now. I'm going to scoop this down. That way it is over. And if you see kind of here, I also have where I kind of played around with, so I took in some of the yellowish tones that are in there in the rock. And I'm not going to actually do a gradient, but I'm going to actually just kind of play around with, sometimes I will do this as well, whereas I don't really want a gradient, but I want to add in some color to it. But I know I'm not going to achieve that through a gradient. So I'm just going to clip a mask out of that. And that kind of gives me a little bit more control over where those happen, where that gradient would happen. Add a little drop shadow there. I'm not using black. I don't use black all that much in my drop shadowing, to be honest with you, because shadows are not always black. Um, they usually are whatever light source that you're basing it off of. That's where it is. Just the faintest of a. Got that. So I'm going to let's duplicate this. Bring this above here. Let's say limit. That kerning is a bit tight from the last job we did. And that's one thing as a designer, and if you want to be a professional designer, don't crap out on your kerning. Take the extra time and get the kerning the way that you want it. I remember working at Advanced Auto Parts. We had it was a very specific kerning that we could use. Literally, I would be in review meetings, and one of my supervisors would bring out a ruler and would be like, the kerning is off by a couple of pixels, and you have to go back and fix it. So that's what I mean about the stringency of working in a professional environment. If that kerning is supposed to be a certain, that's why I'm a big stickler about that myself. So sorry, you can't see. I can't. Oh, that was before. Okay. All right. So I really, really hate this dot being over him. So I'll do the exact same thing. Same techniques. I'm going to bring that back down behind him. I'm going to create a mask there. Just paint around it. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, the only thing I need to put in there is the D. All right. Let me have the. I'm going to take that drop shadow. Where is it? I want to copy that. Copy that layer style. I add that to the. Duplicate that. Actually, I want that to sit in there. So that means I need to make this limit a little bit smaller or move it over. Yes, let's do that. Delete that off his head. There we go. So that, again, like I said, I always try to find, when I'm doing typography, try to find those areas where I can tuck. In other words, where it still makes sense. All right. And then I just put my tag there. Now, if I wanted to, say for instance, I wanted to bring in some dimension of, let's see, I wanted to completely delete all of that because I want to bring in, I want to show a little bit of the wrong one, sorry. Okay, that's gonna be on top. I want to delete all of the bottom. That's what it was. Sorry, I was working out in my head, but I needed to delete. So what I'm doing is I'm deleting everything off of that bottom layer except for that circle. So that's what you're seeing me do right here. I'm deleting all of that area of the word limit. Doing that because I'm gonna go back to this top layer, which is this right here. I'm gonna play with the hard line. That way it shows up just a little bit. There we go. Just to bring in some texture to that. Do the same thing down here. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I created. Of course, I had different picture and different font, but you get the basic idea. And if I wanted to go a little bit further, I could. Of course, from a designer, you can do whatever the heck you want to. If I wanted to bring in a little bit more warm colors to this, I know that, don't worry. We're gonna play around with some of the I know that's a little harsh, but I like to start off harsh first and then pull back. I just want to kind of like warm up some of this so it's not so blue and just trying to warm it up a little bit. And if I wanted to create some type of a light source up here, bring in some more of the whites. It's more of a light source over here. And then right underneath his hand, I wanted to, and this is just me designing at this point. This is just me like making some other decisions. It's not really needed, but stuff I'm seeing in my brain. All right. Let's we got feathered. Let's bring that down, bring that down, bring that down. All right. All right. Even him. There we go. This brings a little bit of, you see, just that slight difference right there, where it kind of brings in the shine of that sky. Love that. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. So we designed that. showed you kind of the thought process on that. Same here. Same there. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Go back to StreamYard. All right. All right. Thank y'all for staying and um watching with me and following along. And I know I done went 2 hours. I do not want to go 2 hours, but hey, design takes time. So if you guys have any other questions, you can. I'm actually going to put that up here as well. Make sure you're following me. Um, I am. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. No, not Twitter. Who's on Twitter anymore? Um, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So all you have to do is type in DW Design Pro. You will find me. Um, some reason I'm not coming up on YouTube yet because again I don't really use it, so I'm not in the algorithm. So if you could please go follow me over there. Um, that would be appreciated. Go ahead and subscribe. I will be doing some more of these. Um, everything is DW Design Pro everywhere. So if you need me, reach out to me. Thank you guys for rocking with me for these 2 hours. Be on the lookout. Like I said, I will be doing a beginner's course. So if someone that you know needs kind of like some beginner instruction, tell them come holler at me. Thank you for everyone for viewing on Facebook, on 2 pages on Facebook. I'm on my personal page as well as my business page. I am also on my YouTube channel, and I think I might be still on Instagram if they didn't kick me off yet, because you know how they do. They might have kicked me off. I'm not sure. Um, any questions? Cause I did say Q&A. um, let me know if you guys have any questions before we log off. Have enough time just for a couple questions, um, if you have them. If you don't, because I think the people that are probably still here are people who already kind of have um, are designers already. So no questions. Did I do that good of a job? We y'all ain't got no questions. Okay, cool. Thank you, Tia, Shanita, Marissa, everybody who came through. Thank you so much. I'm about to get up off this shindig. Am I still on? Marissa. Oh, I'm still on Instagram. All right, that worked. I have never streamed directly to Instagram using a third party. It worked. It may shut down my account after. So if y'all don't see my account for about 30 days, you know why. All right. I'm out. Love you guys. Hit me up if you need me. You know how to find me. Same way you found this live. All right. Y'all be good, and I will see y'all in the next one.